Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from whatever time zone you may be in. This is Off the Grid Podcast with Aiden and Jared.
And you know, I thought we got to the truth.
And we're back to our normal podcast today.
Yes.
It's been a
couple of weeks, right?
Several weeks or so since we've actually done a podcast. But don't worry, guys, we were not AWOL if you were wondering where the heck we were, because if you guys don't follow us on all of our social platforms, then you wouldn't know that we were live on our station.
Yes.
So we were
a lot
doing
of content over there.
Yeah, we were
recently.
covering. We were most certainly not on vacation. We were covering all sorts of different topics there. If you guys aren't aware of what that is, it's just a radio show on our WOTG station, and we cover
whatever's going on that week or day or whatever. So
yeah, so it could be a range of different topics, all discussed in one episode, I guess you
one
could
fell
say.
swoop, yeah.
Yeah,
and that's the cool thing too, is that if we don't have anything to actually like prep for, like we don't have a podcast idea in mind, we could still record stuff. So
exactly,
it's kind of cool, you know.
Right.
So we're covering on that front. So I find that really cool.
Oh yeah. So we're talking today about the China-Taiwan conflict. But
Yes.
before we get into that, if you guys want to subscribe to our channel, if you're new, please do, because we're still making podcasts, even though it looks like we haven't been on here for a while, but still making podcasts. So you can follow us on here. We also have a TikTok account, which basically is little clips of our podcasts that we upload on YouTube, but I just need to get back into that. I haven't done it in a while, but follow us on there. Should be in the
some funny behind the scenes stuff too that you don't get to see normally.
Yeah.
So just
like little clips that you could miss if you're not paying attention.
Yeah.
And then we also have our podcasts on Spotify and Google Podcasts, and of course on the on our radio app. You're able to get all of our episodes on there as well, which is where our station's at.
Zeno, right?
On the Zeno app. So everything is archived there, and I think that's about everything.
Yeah, I think though, Jared, I don't know if you are gonna upload this or not, but we did something fun a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Our ghost town, right?
Yes. That's going to be on our TikTok account.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. Is that going to be on our...
Yeah.
Okay.
I just haven't had time to edit it.
Okay.
But I'm working on it.
That is coming, guys. Just say, you guys might have seen our Instagram post of our...
Yeah.
Facebook post, so I just wanted to update you guys on that.
Yeah, so
that is coming, so don't...
Yeah, we're just kind of doing something a little different, something fun that... Aiden's letting them loose here. You probably can't hear it, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels good. Jeez. Joe, shut up. You did it right before we started. Still,
I know. I was doing a lot of them.
And this guy right here is drinking coffee, so that doesn't help.
Yeah, it's only going to get worse as the night goes on. Anyways, yeah. So,
but yeah, that should be TikTok. You said, right?
Yeah,
and that's the best platform. You think why?
Because
I'm just curious. Why?
I don't know. It doesn't really belong on our podcast channel necessarily, but. It's just like a shorter video. Like we recorded a lot of content, but I'm not going to show all of our adventure, because there's some things that are just us walking around and not getting anything. So of course I'm not going to show, nothing. I'm going to show the best parts.
But boy, did we get some data for you guys.
Oh yeah. I mean, we got a lot of different things, a lot of activity.
Yeah.
We also had some stuff that's didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And we tried looking up names, it gave us a name, and we couldn't figure out what that name was. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it could have been an actual person. It's just it wasn't
a rabbit hole that led nowhere.
Yeah. I mean, it could have been.
I think.
Yeah. It could have been a person that was actually real, but it just wasn't on the internet.
Yeah.
Before the days of the internet. But yeah, so let's get into the China-Taiwan conflict, shall we?
Yes.
Well,
before that,
yeah.
Dude, this really pissed me off.
It's been the talk of the headline.
Yes, the FBI raid, right?
Yep.
On Mar-a-Lago. So, dude, I'm going to ask you a question. Okay.
Yeah.
Why is it important for us conservatives to attack this head on?
I mean,
because we're not the only ones that are mad here, obviously.
Well, it's important.
So first of all, I'd like to explain to them why this is such a big deal for us on the right.
Well, it's definitely a big deal. If you're a Trump supporter like Aiden and I are, we followed his whole presidency, and we followed all of the different, witch hunts that Trump was subjected to by the Democrats. They were investigating him left and right for various different things, and all those turned out to be hoaxes. Nothing gained any traction.
Nothing came to fruition at all.
Yeah. And now they're raiding his home over some documents that, were classified, is what they said.
Yeah.
But they're saying that they were so top secret, but then when they, if they're so top secret, then why did they sit on this idea of raiding Trump's home for weeks?
Why did you let him take them home in the first place?
Well, I mean, he could have just went ahead and took them without anyone looking.
With all the security, though? I mean, the White House being the most guarded place in the world, one of them? I mean...
I guess.
No, but that's the thing. That's the thing. There was a reason why they were choosing now to do it, and that's because of the midterms.
Yeah.
The midterms are coming up, and they want something to stir the people up, and they decided to wait at the perfect time, literally.
And I think it also has to do with they see him as a big threat.
Yeah. 2024, they see him as a...
Look at him, I mean, just even with the midterms. Yeah. I mean, look at all... He has a really good track record with nominating different people, or endorsing, rather, not nominating, but endorsing different candidates.
Basically vouching for them.
And most of them have made it far.
Probably one of them, DeSantis, who people on the left are starting to hate.
Yeah.
Most certainly probably going to endorse.
And I'm sure, if, say, in 2024, if Trump decides to run again, I'm sure DeSantis will vouch for him.
Oh, yeah.
Just because...
No doubt about it.
And vice versa, I think. But, of course, they're trying to prevent Trump from running again. I don't know how they can do that necessarily.
Well, okay, let's...
Because I heard someone say that even if he was in prison, he could still run for president.
Yeah.
But then that was before...
That just gave me a weird picture in my mind.
What?
Having the Oval Office be in jail. He has a little jail in a jail cell. He's just calling the shots from Alcatraz.
Well, there was a...
but seriously, though.
I heard a story about this communist party-affiliated person. He was running for president. He got 7 or 8% of the vote from prison. So, if that tells you anything...
I can see why, though. I mean, yeah.
But can you imagine, if Trump was sent to prison, how much percentage of the vote he'd get?
99%.
I mean, he'd get a huge percentage.
Listen. Guys, I don't care what political party you're affiliated with, what the heck you believe. Everyone, either on the left or the right, should be absolutely livid at this, because you do not go into a former president's home and wade through his stuff, no matter if you agree with him or not.
Yeah.
This is tyrannical. This is some 1984 stuff.
And if anything, they raid Trump's home over some documents.
Their reasoning, I was going to get into that, actually. Their reasoning for that, I think I heard that the documents contain something about nuclear weapons.
Yeah. I heard that too.
Okay, that...
But the codes change all the time, right?
That might even it out a little bit.
What do you mean?
You couldn't have just sat down and talked to him about it, though? You had to go and raid his house for that, though? It could have been hey, Like, what do you just been like? Hey, what are you doing with these? You had to go and raid his house and destroy his stuff and all that.
Search through Melania's panty drawer.
Why? Like, what do you think about this, Jed? Does involving if the documents, which I don't think they revealed this yet, it might change, but if it is revealed that they had the documents that contain nuclear weapons information, does that change things in your mind? Yes or no?
No.
Okay.
Because as a former president, he can't do anything with those codes.
Okay.
What is he going to do? Is he going to start handing them over to random people?
That's what they might say, though. That's what they might actually say.
You honestly think Trump would do that?
No, but people.
If anything, Biden would do that. He'd be like, here's these codes. I don't need them.
No, but people are going to believe it, though.
Listen, if people think honestly that Trump would, take the codes and hand it over to China, you got to be flipping out of control.
Yeah.
You just don't know him. They're just making crap up at this point because there's no way that Trump in his right mind would do that.
Right.
I just know, I don't know him personally, but I know him as how he kind of reacts to things sometimes. Oftentimes he's a loose cannon when it comes to how he reacts. Like, you just can't guess sometimes, but you know for a fact he would never give up any important documents to China. He knows better than that.
Or any foreign nation, for that matter.
Yeah.
So why raid his house, though?
Because they want to make a big spectacle out of it.
But playing devil's advocate, though, if they are genuinely concerned about national security, what would you think they would be concerned about? If it was even legit, I'm saying. If there's the smallest... let me just ask you, Jude, if there is the smallest % chance that Trump is doing something actually wrong, what are they scared of?
I don't see... I'm not sure what kind of document would be so secretive that you can't release to the public. Okay, so apparently, with the JFK shooting, a lot of that has been declassified. But there's still some documents that have not been declassified. Right. Even Trump did not declassify that material because he thought...
Funny enough, presidents, first of all, before we continue really quick...
He can declassify whatever.
I was going to say presidents can declassify whatever they want.
But he thought that was... No, he doesn't have to ask for it. He can declassify whatever he wants at a whim. But the question is, can Biden reclassify those documents that Trump declassified?
Yeah.
Is that a possibility? Because
maybe they did that underneath the radar, and then they waited.
But see, the thing is...
And they can go under the thing of they're classified.
Yeah, but there's no proof.
So maybe they were actually declassified, but then they really quickly...
Yeah, because what they were saying is, Trump took these secretive documents that were still classified.
National security and stuff.
Yeah, but Trump said, I declassified all these before I left the office.
Who do you believe?
And it's all he said, she said situation because there's no physical evidence. It's all, you could do it verbally as well.
Yeah.
You think that
you mean explain to the audience what you'd verbally declassify?
Verbally just saying, okay, I declassify, these JFK documents or whatever.
I understand what you meant. I wanted
I know.
For them to know what you meant. Okay. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so, at least I believe that's how the process goes. I would have to double check on that. But
I think I heard that too, so that makes sense. That makes sense to me.
I think it's another it's a throw, spaghetti at the wall, see if it sticks. It's
the left, you mean?
Yeah, for the left. It's throw whatever they can at the wall and hope it sticks because that's all they can do at this point. They want to take all the attention off of Biden again and make it a Trump problem. When you most certainly know it should be a referendum on Biden on these midterms. We shouldn't be talking about, Trump. No, it should be about how bad the economy is, how bad the gas prices are. And people are going to say, well, the gas prices are better than they were. They're down 30-some cents since, last month. And it'd be like, yeah, but it was $1 something like a year ago.
Yeah.
So don't start telling me I should be happy that the prices are down. No, I'm still upset about it because it's still like freaking $4 a gallon.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be happy about that?
Living like almost California.
Yeah. I mean...
Living like Larry.
Speaking of which, California is getting rid of gas-powered vehicles by 2035. Did you hear about that?
No.
Yeah, they signed
succeed? I don't think so.
They should. No, but they're going to stop making gas-powered vehicles by 2035.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
That's what they said.
They
signed a law.
They're not gonna though. It just won't happen.
It's gonna be.
I'm sorry. It just
guys,
won't happen.
It's gonna be absolute anarchy there in California. They can't even power their own grid as it is right now.
They have shit on their streets they can't even clean up. How are they supposed to?
I know. Dude, they have rolling blackouts all the time there in California. They can't keep their electricity on, and they're going to turn
electric vehicles, and they can't even get them.
Bunch of bozos out there on the West Coast.
Oh my gosh, they're smoking too much weed.
I mean, I heard there's at least I heard from some electricians that were saying, like, with the current power grid that we have, there's no way it could sustain if we all went to electric vehicles. There's no way we could do it.
There was so many podcasts we can make up with the power grid, not just about EVs.
Yeah. Well, it's just...
I'm obsessed with Jared about the security of the power grid in general. With attacks and stuff.
Yep. Can you imagine if we all just were reliant on those electric vehicles? Yeah. Again, I'll talk about...
That's why I like hybrids.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I was saying that I prefer hybrids because it's nice to have electric vehicles because, you know, you just like, I don't know, gas prices and whatnot. And I don't see any problem with them in general, but like, especially in the state of Ohio where you have dangerous winters like the last winter we just had. I mean, we had like 10 inches of snow?
Yeah.
You know, and we were buried, basically, and there was pile-ups on the highway, and there was vehicles that were stuck in the snow. Electric vehicles ran out of electricity, and they had, you know, they weren't able to run. And they can't, like, charge in the middle of the highway, can they? But you can say if your gas-powered vehicle ran out of gas, you can just run to the gas station, fill it up, come back, and then, you know, dump some gas in the tank, and you're on your way.
Yeah.
But if you're an electric car, you know, you're stuck.
Or should I say in the snow?
I saw a funny meme of someone charging their electric vehicle with a generator, you know, and that's gas powered. So they're like, you know, charging the vehicle with a generator. I'm like, that's funny.
You couldn't just.
I don't know, guys. I mean, it's a nice concept, like, because electric vehicles have less maintenance than gas vehicles, but boy, gas vehicles are more durable. I will say that, and they just don't. They drain in the winter. They don't go the distance. Like those electric trucks, I think are gonna flop. I'm just telling you right now. Yeah. Because they were saying, like, how long can they pull a load on the back of that truck before they die? You know, they might be fine without something hauling behind it, but what if it starts hauling a big trailer? Is it going to die on you really fast?
In the snow. A load that's got to get to its destination in 2 hours, you're dead in the snow.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I think a electric-powered truck is for wussies.
I mean, I wouldn't say that. There's a lot of kinks that you need to work out.
They need to have better batteries if that's the case, because there's no way they can haul a camper like
they're not going to
be here.
They're not going to be hauling ass. They're going to be dragging ass.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yep. You're gonna say if you're going on a road trip, you're going camping, and you got your electric truck pulling your camper. You're gonna be like, oh well, you know, we're running out of electricity or whatever. I guess we're gonna have to stop, and you're gonna make multiple stops.
Well, this is something interesting, Jared.
Yeah.
I guess there are electric vehicles now that are adopting this concept where they're using the motion of the wheels to generate extra electricity. So it's charging as it's driving, basically.
I have something like that on my electric scooter.
Yeah.
It when you're going downhill, it like charges.
If they could adopt that technology, like widespread, then I could see it working. Definitely.
Yeah. I don't know. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I guess. What else can we talk about on this?
Mar-a-Lago.
We didn't really read any of this yet.
Yeah, so...
let me zoom in.
It's from Daily Wire, right, Judd?
Yeah.
It's about the weight, obviously, guys.
Oh, that's better.
So, yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I can actually read.
Woo!
Whoa, my eyes were hurting there for a sec.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
That's a Taco Bell.
Yeah, guys, just a PSA here.
We did have Taco Bell before doing the podcast.
That don't eat Taco Bell before doing a podcast. And in a combination with coffee here is not good. With my American brew. Yeah. Not good. All right, continue.
You're going to have, as Captain America says, America's ass in a second.
The most patriotic farts you've ever heard.
Starts making a band that comes playing out your butt.
Dun, 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 dun.
Okay, so this is from Daily Wire. So, federal law enforcement officials were allegedly searching for highly classified documents on, quote, nuclear weapons when they raided former President Donald Trump's home in Florida earlier this week, according to a report. The Washington Post claimed in a report that those familiar with the matter did not offer any specific details of whether the alleged documents on nuclear weapons were about weapons that were possessed by the United States or a foreign nation, and they did not disclose what was recovered during the search. Quote, if that is true, it would suggest that material residing unlawfully at Mar-a-Lago may have been classified at the highest classification level, end quote, said David Loffman, the former chief of the Justice Department's counterintelligence section, which investigates leaks of classified information. Quote, if the FBI and the Department of Justice believed there were top-secret materials still at Mar-a-Lago that will lend itself to greater hair-on-fire motivation to recover that material as quickly as possible, end quote. Investigators reportedly recovered classified material, some of which was labeled top secret. Find it funny how they don't reveal what those documents are, though. They're just, whatever, we just got documents, guys.
Well,
but I mean, we're not going to tell you what they are, because they're not important enough to tell you.
Well, apparently, Aiden...
Because we know we're effing things up, and we just rated it because...
Right.
We don't even actually have anything to prove. We just...
Most likely, yeah. I mean... They said, supposedly,
defund the DOJ.
Yeah, really. But they said that they knew about this like weeks ago, and they were like sitting on whether they should raid the house or not. But it's like, if you knew that he had top secret documents and it was a threat to national security, then why didn't you go in right away?
Yeah.
Why did you wait, a couple of months and then decide to go in? Oh, actually, it's because of the midterms. You didn't want to jump on it too early because then people would forget. Because we all have, the brains of a pigeon, and we'll get distracted within the next 5 minutes. Look, squirrel, I mean, we can only...
As Matt Walsh says, we have the brains of fruit flies, apparently.
Yeah, we can only concentrate on a certain subject for so long, and then it's out of the headlines.
Do you think that this would fly by us? No, you were one.
Yeah, it's but this event in all only makes me support Trump more. And I'll tell you why. Because it makes you realize that this man must be doing something right if everyone is after him.
Yeah.
If they've been after him since 2016, since the day he came down that escalator. Dude, since the day he came down that escalator and said, I'm running for president.
Yeah.
They've been after him. Mm-hmm. They were like, okay, he's president. We're going to start impeaching him. On what? Russian collusion. Oh, well, we got him there. Oh, actually, we didn't. The Ukraine call with Vladimir Zelensky. Oh, no, didn't get him there either. You remember Zelensky was involved with Trump. Yeah. Apparently, this phone call was so dangerous. And now they support Ukraine. Everyone, we love Ukraine. Sorry, we feel bad for you.
Yeah.
But you're bad in the moment. Back then. But yeah, they were after Trump like every single week. It was something new. So it just makes me I heard someone say it's like he must be right over the target. If you were dropping a bomb, on a city like Nagasaki or something, you know you're right over it. That the threat is right there. You're on target. Everyone's after you.
What else could they do that's worse before the midterms if they do this?
Well, they're going to try to indict him and try to get him on charges. They're going to get everything together. But then I heard somewhere on the news that they're going to wait until after the midterms. So,
dude, I don't even think that's the problem. I really don't.
What's that?
I think it's just beyond the midterms at this point. Dude, with something like this, I'm just scared that, this is going to shut down any conservative view that even is a threat. And I don't just mean diplomatically either.
Yeah.
This is the start of stuff that's going to be more and more accepted. If they're okay with raiding people's homes, think of what's going to happen next. I'm saying, just in general. Think of what they're going to be able to do. They're going to get more extreme.
Is this going to happen after every presidency?
Yeah, and then we're going to become authoritarian, is what I'm getting at.
A banana republic?
Yeah.
There's no trust in the system?
Mm-hmm.
And it makes it increasingly difficult to trust the system when you see the DOJ, the FBI
doing stuff like
this, and then they're like, "Trust us. Why aren't you trusting us?"
Because of this. If you want to raid people's homes, former president's homes rather, and people's homes, you have to, but former president's homes, come on,
Yeah, and then you heard recently about Mark Zuckerberg. He was on Joe Rogan's podcast. They were talking about the silencing of the Hunter Biden laptop story. And he said the FBI came to him and said, you should be aware of some security threat. Just saying, you should be worried about it. You might want to do something about it. The FBI came to him.
The world's largest, one of the world's largest online companies.
He's like, they're like, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You should probably censor this.
Yeah. If they're not doing that all the time, I would be hard pressed to find that they're not doing that all the time.
And the FBI responded to Zuckerberg with these claims that the FBI told him to do it, and they're like, we didn't tell him to do it. We just said that it's up to him. We can't force any business to do this.
You raise the temperature.
Yeah.
And yes, you could force him to do it if he really wanted to. And you get away with it too.
Yes, it's on Zuckerberg too for not sticking up for himself and saying, no, this is a full-on investigative piece that just got released.
And this is a business that I won.
You don't tell me what to do. Yeah. But, of course, Zuckerberg went along with it. But maybe Zuckerberg...
Who cares as long as he's rolling in banknotes, right?
Yeah. But maybe the FBI lied and they said they forced him to do it. Like what Zuckerberg was saying that he was told that he should probably look into it.
Let me ask you this, Joe. Kind of leaning into our Big Tech podcast. Just a question that we probably should have asked then. We'll ask now. Why do you think all these big tech gurus and CEOs? Why do you think they don't let the kids have social media? Why do you think they have their laptops taped? The cameras, I mean. And because they know stuff that we don't know.
Yeah. Well, Trump was thinking about releasing the footage from the Mar-a-Lago raid because he had security footage.
Oh, please do. Please.
I'm like, what are you waiting for? Just release it.
Do it.
What are they going to do?
This is your property.
They're investigating you. Why don't you just expose them? If you have something, unless it's like you walking around butt naked,
bring the
then
house of cards down.
I don't want to see that.
No.
But
your orange
ass. I don't see your butt naked orange ass walking around.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, guys, what you need to know, I guess, that is basically the point of all that was that the FBI and all these companies are in cahoots, basically, and it always will be that way.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, just wait. soon they're just going to be, if they're not already are, there's just going to be propaganda wings of the government. Twitter, Facebook, all of them.
They already are.
Yeah.
And so is a lot of these news outlets, like the Washington Compost. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They just, rinse and repeat what the administration says, and they don't put, any thought into what they're putting out to the public. Because if they would actually think about it, they would say, okay, well, maybe there's something to think about here, maybe something to look into. Maybe we should investigate this so, we're not just repeating the same stuff, because it's not necessarily the truth. Yeah. I mean, the whole point of a news outlet is to get to the truth and report.
It's journalism.
Yeah. I mean, that's literally the definition of journalism. But instead of journalists, we have activists. They're activists. They are not actually true journalists. The true journalism is almost dead. Like actual journalists. Yeah. They're not, most of them no longer a thing. And that's on both sides of the aisle. And we're talking Fox News, we're talking CNN, NBC, ABC, all the letters of the alphabet.
Yeah.
They're not journalists. A lot of them are not.
Now, granted, there are a few cases like the war in Ukraine where they have journalists on the ground that some of them sadly do get hurt. But that's journalism right there.
Yeah.
Reporting what's on the ground as it's happening. Like, that's
like
the guy from Fox News that got killed in Ukraine. That was journalism.
Shouldn't have ended that way, but
there was a quote that someone said about journalism. It was something like, we don't run away from danger, we run toward it, because we're filming or documenting history. That's our job.
Yeah. I mean, they did that in World War II, right?
Yeah.
They got a lot of footage
9/11.
Yeah.
They did.
Can you imagine if we only had that in our memories?
Right.
I mean, a lot of people don't want to relive that. But
it would be very subjective.
Yeah. And that's crazy to think that we live in that time where that happened.
Yeah.
Something like that. Some, country altering event.
Which that's coming up soon, guys, actually.
What do you mean?
9/11, the end of it. End of it, yeah.
Well, like we were saying last year, I believe we were saying just around this time, we were saying that we were worried about what anniversary was it? The
20th.
20th? Yeah.
They were going to do something again, yeah.
We were worried that, since it's the 20th, that they might try another terrorist attack. Thankfully, we were wrong on our prediction there.
Yeah.
It's just every year. It's just it's so difficult for families, and people that were directly involved in it. And every year we sit back and remember the people that fell during that time.
Yeah.
That fallen, gave their lives.
Yeah.
So.
Speaking of people giving their lives, there might be a lot of that coming soon. Not with 9/11, but with something that might happen.
Which just happens to be our topic for tonight.
Yes. Now, as you guys know, first of all, before we start this,
good transition, Aiden.
Yeah. Russia and Ukraine have been in an absolute battle for like 3 months now. They've been,
and it's gotten worse since the war in Ukraine started.
Yes, but I think Ukraine is kicking their butts, if I'm not mistaken. Right? They're holding them back.
They have some areas that are controlled by the Russians.
Yeah,
like large portions. And I heard on the news the other day that I don't know how true this is, but they were saying that Russia might be thinking about annexing parts of Ukraine, the ones that they are controlling right now, which, it sucks for Ukraine because Russia's been chopping off parts of Ukraine for years.
Yeah. It was Crimea first in 2014, and now it's just like...
And guess what party was in power in the United States during that time?
Democrats.
The Democrats. It just so happens that it happens during the Democrats. Why? Because they're light on these foreign issues. They can't They don't know how to govern under these circumstances. They're so predictable. I don't want a president that is like so predictable, you know? I like the new mold of president that Trump put in place.
I really, Jared, don't think they understand. Because they say that they want like just equality and peace and diversity. Do they just not get that some people are just evil?
I think they forget that.
And they just want, like...
Yeah, they try to reason with evil. You can't reason with evil.
They just want... They don't understand that these people just... Like Putin, I'm saying.
Yeah.
People like Kamala Harris don't understand that people like Putin just want to take land, kill their enemies, and burn what remains, basically.
Yeah.
Like, you can't understand evil like that if you're with the Democrats. I don't think you really can.
Well, the thing is... I
really don't.
You can't reason with evil. Like, how they act like they can reach some, treaty or whatever.
I don't think they understand how dark his heart is. Like,
Putin,
seriously.
you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Xi Jinping, he is in the same boat.
Yeah.
I mean, you just can't reason with the man. Like, and our standards of reasoning is different than theirs. Theirs is...
Rightfully so.
They have a different culture than we do.
Yeah.
Out in the West, we have something called let's negotiate.
Yeah.
Try to come to a understanding.
Diplomatic
solution. Instead of, let's, pull our guns out and just, have a brawl here.
Tiananmen Square.
Yeah,
Right.
They just have different ways of doing things there. And I think, since
the government, you mean?
Yeah, we have different ways of solving things. They have theirs, we have ours. And we just don't understand that, like, we can't... They're just from a different culture. They have different ways of doing things. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, you think, since the leader wants to attack Taiwan, you think that everyone in the country wants it.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. A lot of people there in China probably a lot of them don't know what the heck's going on because their media is censored.
Probably even more so than Russia, even.
Yeah. I mean, you can't get on... Like, when Victoria was there in China, and she was there for 3 weeks, she had to use a VPN to get on anything that wasn't...
State one?
Like, if it was like a Facebook, she couldn't get on Facebook unless she used a VPN. Jeez. They're that strict.
I'm assuming that then the hotel or whatever is doing tours, gives them a VPN then to use. I'm guessing something like that.
I don't know. I think her group that went over there, her class, they
had one.
Yeah, they're like, they got like lessons on what to do in China, what not to do. Just like how like when you go to certain countries, you got to get your shots, like certain shots on different things because there's all these diseases that go around in these other countries, but you're not exposed to.
They didn't get in prison for saying something wrong.
Yeah, like how that basketball player in Russia right now, she's been there for months now.
Yeah,
like over 6 months since the war started.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, what's your opinion on that? On what's her face over there in Russia?
I'm not educated enough on the topic to be honest. I'm not educated enough on the topic to make a.
All right. Well, let me explain a little bit about why she was kept there. So apparently she was there because she was on some summer gig. She was like almost on a vacation away from the basketball in the U.S.
Yeah.
She's a woman's WNBA star, I believe. Brittany Grimer is her name. But they were on recess from the season. The season was over, and so she was going over to Russia to make more money. She was joining a Russian basketball league there.
Yeah.
Playing basketball there, she has an opportunity to make more money, so she decided to go over there for the summer, and I guess she was trying to come back. She had like a vape pen or something.
Yeah.
and it had like cannabis or something, or like some oil from weed.
Yeah,
I forget
like
what the
CBD
oil
or
was.
something. Yeah,
it wasn't that. It was something. It was a derivative of cannabis, but it was some oil. She had it in a vape pen, and that's why she's apparently in prison because of that. And they're trying to sentence her to 8 years in prison for this, which it's a huge crime there to be on those types of drugs. Like, our drug laws here are very loosey-goosey
compared to
Russia, other countries. Which, it's like, that's actually, our drug laws used to be like what Russia's is now still. Yeah. But, of course, ours changed, and now it's more, I guess, progressive.
Okay, knowing that, why make a stupid choice like that? Not smoking weed, that's fine, but like in Russia, like what?
Like, you should know if you're going over there what is accepted and what isn't.
Yeah.
Like, that's like what Victoria did in her class, like that was the whole part of the class was, okay, we got to understand what you can and cannot do in China so you don't get in trouble.
Yeah.
And like, certain gestures in public, is not acceptable. Could be seen as offensive to the normal Chinese citizen. Mm-hmm. It's like, if you say if you waved to some random person on the street just out of being nice, they might say, I don't know if this is true or not, but they might think that's offensive. Like, hey, you want to come at me, bro, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just
that's
the
why if I were to go
differences
to
in
other
culture.
countries, I would just keep my head down and walk.
And even that could be like seen as, oh, you could be suspicious because you're not looking at us. Maybe their culture is about making eye contact.
Yeah.
So you got to know that too.
Yeah.
Even not making eye contact could be seen as wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, that whole Brittany Grimer thing,
knowing that, that's a stupid. Why would
and
you even?
Biden's trying to trade.
That's what I'm going to say. Russell's going to use that as a ransom. I almost guarantee it.
It was. Biden was trying to get Brittany Grimer back she's trying to make an even swap for this convicted criminal. Like, he smuggled drugs.
Russian, I remember that now, yeah.
It's like, is that equivalent to Brittany Grimer? Is she that important compared to this criminal that was convicted? Maybe not. Yeah. Is it right? I don't think so. If it was another, let's trade up in the draft. I'll trade you for this WNBA NBA player.
Yeah, dude, but she's still an American, though.
I know.
I mean,
but it's like, should she, learn a lesson? Like, maybe this would.
Yeah, and in one of our prisons.
But here it would be legal for the type of drug she's using.
Not in all places, depending on where she was at. I mean,
it depends on the oil. It wasn't like I don't know. I don't agree with her being in prison there. Because, it's not something I see as dangerous.
Yeah.
But she is breaking the law there.
Yeah.
And she should have known that, because if she's going over there for the summer.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know why she would have wanted to go over there when
especially
all that conflict
right now,
is like, if you knew that people were, they were building up troops along the Ukrainian border. It's like, oh, I'm going to go over there for a basketball league. Yeah, probably not a good idea.
Yeah.
Anyways,
but this
let's get back into this.
Yeah, this tension that's coming, right? So
yeah,
China and Taiwan, right? So this is what people are saying is going to be the next big
conflict.
Yeah. So this article, I think, is from BBC. So this kind of is going to explain to you guys what has been going on for the past 70+ years and why it's amping up now. So as you guys know, Taiwan is an island roughly 100 miles from the coast of Southeast China. It sits in the so-called First Island Chain, which includes a list of U.S.-friendly territories that are crucial to U.S. foreign policy. If China was to take over Taiwan, some Western experts suggest that it could be freer to project power in the Western Pacific region, and could possibly even threaten U.S. military bases as far away as Guam and Hawaii. But China insists that its intentions are purely peaceful. Historical sources suggest that the island first came under full Chinese control in the 17th century, when the Qing dynasty began administering it. Then in 1895, they give up the island to Japan after losing the First Sino-Japanese War. What do you think about that so far?
It's definitely
there's gonna be more, but so far though,
I don't know. I could see it's almost kind of gives me World War II flashbacks a little bit.
Yeah,
you know, with like how China, or like no, not China, how Japan was like trying to take control of the waters. Yeah. So they're trying to, station themselves on islands and stuff out there in the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah.
And, the more bases they had, the better chance they could at reaching us.
Yeah.
But, nowadays the technology's so good, they don't necessarily need to get that close to the California or whatever.
Yeah.
In order to launch a attack.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, continuing on here, Joe, speaking of World War II, right?
Yeah.
So China took the island again in 1945. After Japan lost World War II. But a civil war erupted in mainland.
So it's about 50 years of Japanese control?
Yeah.
Or so, and then they got
Yeah.
That island back. Okay.
But a civil war erupted in mainland China between nationalist government forces led by Chiang Kai-shek and Mao Zedong's Communist Party. The Communists won in 1949 and took control in Beijing. Chiang Kai-shek and what was left of the Nationalist Party, known as the Kuomintang, fled to Taiwan, where they ruled for the next several decades. China points to this history to say that Taiwan was originally a Chinese province, but the Taiwanese point to the same history to argue that they were never part of the modern Chinese state that was first formed after the revolution in 1911, or the People's Republic of China that was established under Mao in 1949. And that's all there was for that article, but you know who Mao Zedong is.
Oh, yeah.
Mass murderer.
Yep.
Tyrant.
They have him immortalized there.
You mean China does?
Yeah.
As a good?
As a good thing. Like, he's up on, like, a big picture of him on the palace or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that's him, right? You see the infamous...
the Forbidden City, you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's him. I can't remember what building it is.
That sounds right. That sounds right.
I just remember that big oaf up there on the wall.
Joe, let's tell them about who this guy is really quick if they don't even know. So all you people who might think he's like a good leader, he is still responsible to this day the most deaths of any tyrant in history.
Even Hitler?
Yeah. Oh, way past Hitler. Way past Hitler. In fact, let me look this up really quick, guys, while we're talking here. Yeah, so
and what could have been the spark that set all this off?
You tell us, Jim, what is this? So
Nancy Pelosi took a trip to Taiwan. This is from the Daily Wire. So Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi has reportedly arrived in Taiwan amid threats of retaliation from the Chinese Communist Party. A plane reportedly carrying the House Speaker touched down on the island of Taiwan on Tuesday, Fox News reported. She is the first House Speaker to visit Taiwan since Newt Gingrich's 1997 visit, an island that China considers its territory. And her visit has prompted China to increase military activity in both the sea and air around Taiwan. Quote, our congressional delegation's visit to Taiwan honors America's unwavering commitment to supporting Taiwan's vibrant democracy, Pelosi said in a statement issued upon her arrival. Quote, our visit is part of our broader trip to the Indo-Pacific, including Singapore, Malaysia, South Korea, and Japan, focused on mutual security, economic partnership, and democratic governance, she added. Our discussions with Taiwan leadership will focus on reaffirming our support for our partner and on promoting our shared interests, including advancing a free and open Indo-Pacific region. America's solidarity with the 23 million people of Taiwan is more important today than ever, as the world faces a choice between autocracy and democracy, she said. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Zhao Lijian also warned in mid-July that any visit would, quote, seriously undermine China's sovereignty and territorial integrity, adding, quote, if the U.S. side obstinately clings to this course, China will definitely take resolute and forceful measures to firmly defend its national sovereignty and territorial integrity. The United States must be fully responsible for all the consequences caused by this. So what they're basically saying there is like, when Nancy Pelosi went to Taiwan, that was basically an act of war. That they're responsible for if we go in, if China goes in there and attacks Taiwan.
It's your fault.
Yeah, it's like, no, it's not China's fault. No, it's not Taiwan's fault. It's the U.S.'s fault. They're trying to put blame on us for something and trying to get us dragged into it. And the thing is, I'm more upset about, and this is horrible that Ukraine is being trying to, be taken over by Russia.
Say it.
And yeah, you know it. I've said it to you before. But Taiwan is more important to us than Ukraine.
I'll jump off further than that, if I may, Judd.
Go ahead.
We're not morally obligated to Ukraine.
Right.
We're obligated to Taiwan because Biden had to open his mouth and say something.
What did he say? Do you remember?
He said, if Taiwan is invaded, will you take military action? And he said yes. Basically affirming our obligation to
I agree
Taiwan,
with him,
which, yes, me too. But we can't back out of that now, though. So that means boots on the ground if Taiwan is invaded. Basically, I think is what. So not just giving weapons, not just aiding. Fighting.
Yeah. Well,
so guys, listen up.
And the thing is, go ahead, Aiden. Sorry.
If China invades Taiwan, we're gonna have a war between dear Lord, a war between the two global superpowers on our hands. Think about that. Yeah, what were you gonna say though?
I was just saying that Taiwan has all those semiconductors.
Yes. Why is nobody else talking about this?
This is why we should be concerned. Is because if China if China ends up taking over Taiwan, they get a hold of those semiconductors. What are we gonna do? Those microchips?
Silicon Valley is gonna go bye-bye. Is what's gonna happen.
Our automotive industry is gonna suffer. You're not gonna get those fancy-dancy
Teslas anymore.
Yeah. Why do you think they're on back order right now? Why do you think those Teslas are not flying off the shelves?
China's choking us on purpose.
Yeah, supply chain issues, people. It's only getting worse. The supply chain issue has not gone away. It's only going to get worse as the Taiwan problem escalates.
In terms of tech, you're saying?
Yeah.
In terms of just tech, okay.
Now, maybe food
and stuff is going to even
chain
out,
could even out, or it could get worse. I don't know how this affects the food chain specifically. But
I think that's a Ukraine problem, I think. The more so the food
with grain and whatnot?
Food and stuff. Yeah, that's going to be a Ukraine problem. But semiconductor computers and stuff, oh my God. Apple's going to have a field day. Microsoft's going to have a field day. IBM most certainly is going to have a field day. If they can't get semiconductors, how are they supposed to make any new tech?
We're not going to have any cell phones. We're not going to have any computers.
Well, no. We're going to have computers, but they're going to be shitty and old. No more new ones.
Now, from what I understand, they're trying to get those...
You guys want your PS5 and Xbox One? Too bad.
You're going to have to wait for several years.
Couple decades.
Yeah.
Or maybe never.
Now, from what I understand, they're trying to get some production done in the U.S., which was under Biden's, one of his bills he just passed recently.
The one good thing that he did.
And I'm like, hey, that's one thing I actually agree with.
Yeah.
I actually applaud him for getting that done because otherwise we can't get the funding to get this underway. Hey, we need to be more independent from China.
Yeah.
What was Trump trying to do? He was trying to do the exact same thing. And guess what? Biden is starting to take after Trump a little bit.
Good.
Because guess what? What
He's
Trump was
oh,
doing,
it worked.
What Trump was doing was working. So guess what? Just like building the border wall, they're secretly doing that right now under the radar.
Yeah,
they're flying under the radar,
continuing to.
Yeah. Well, they were like, "Oh, it's racist to build a wall to prevent people from
when
coming
deep
over
down
here."
you know that it helps.
Yeah, and then they realize all these illegal immigrants are flooding into New York.
Not only that, but the article I sent you.
Yeah,
about the rainbow fentanyl.
Yeah, that too. And they're concerned about that. They're concerned after the New York. Do you remember the New York governor was like, "We're a no. It was New York City said we're a sanctuary city for the screw Texas and whatnot. Why aren't they accepting you guys? We'll accept you." And then they're like, okay. So the governor of Texas was like sending them over to New York.
Let's see how they like it.
And then they got pissed off that they got him. It's like, but I thought you guys were a sanctuary.
You wanted them.
And then all of a sudden Biden's like, oh, we got to continue that border wall now.
Yeah.
That these Democratic, leaders are getting a little upset. Yeah. Only after they're upset about it. It wasn't only, it took them to get upset.
Yeah.
But, notice how a lot of these policies that Trump was going after is now being picked up by Biden.
Trump knew what was going on. He knew.
Yeah.
He knew the dangers.
He was smart. He was smart.
Of immigration and what can come with that.
Yep.
Which that could be a whole nother podcast for another day, but...
Jeez, yeah.
So as if things can't get worse with this, right? The Taiwan situation. Now they're having military drills, so... I know, Joe, not the best source, but like you said, we want to be
fair and balanced.
Diverse in our sources. This is from NBC News. So China announced more military drills around Taiwan as the island's president, oh my goodness, met with members of a new U.S. congressional delegation on Monday. Monday, as of when that was written, guys. In a further sign of support among American lawmakers for the self-governing island Beijing claims as its own. Taiwanese media showed the delegation arriving for the talks, but details of the meeting were not immediately released. The delegation was due to depart later Monday on a U.S. government plane. The visit came less than 2 weeks after House Speaker Nancy Pelosi took to Taiwan, which prompted 2 days of threatening military exercises by China, including the firing of missiles over the island and into the Taiwan Strait. Pelosi is the highest level member.
It's better than firing into the Taiwan Bay.
Right?
I mean, I'm kidding. At least it's going one direction, not two. Which way is it going? Yeah! Yeah!
Oh my god.
Bruh.
Dude. No.
That was pretty good.
That was actually. So China also sent warplanes and Navy ships across the waterways median, which has long been a buffer between the sides that separated amid Civil War in 1949. China regards formal contacts between U.S. politicians and the island's government as support for its independence from Beijing. Holy shit.
Is that all for...
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
And then the next article was more.
I do want to mention something again on that Nancy Pelosi visit.
Yeah.
Like, dude, think about this. I mean, her going over to Taiwan could have been literally the spark that started World War III.
Get out of my head. Like,
and I was talking about this before she went over there. Like when, right? Yeah, I think I was talking to you about it, right?
Yeah.
I said you're going to look in the history books possibly and see what started World War III, and then you're going to see Nancy Pelosi's face right on that
no,
page.
You won't, because there won't be any books.
Yeah, book burnings, right?
No, there won't be any cars or anything left.
Yeah, you're right.
World War IV is going to be fought with stones and sticks.
Wait, what? What, World War IV?
World War III is going to nuke and end the world, and then if we have a World War IV, it's going to be fought with sticks and stones, because everything's going to be freaking destroyed.
Yep. We're going to go back to the caveman era. It's going to be like a reset on society.
I fucking hate the Biden administration so much.
Again, guys, this is, another... Like, all of this should be, like I said at the beginning of this podcast, when we're talking about the Trump raid, it's like, this should be a referendum on the Biden administration.
Yes.
This election should not be anything that has to do with Trump. The only thing that Trump should be involved in is endorsing candidates.
I cannot believe I'm saying this. I know he's a crazy, crazy socialist. But this makes me wish that they would have went with Sanders versus Biden. Like, at least Sanders knew what he wanted.
Right.
Like, oh my gosh. If you could have any Democrat, I guess Sanders, whatever. The worst thing that he would do is free college, but...
And they're still doing that, too, under the Biden administration. I wonder, though...
I want Trump back so bad.
Same, dude. Like this Trump raid thing, it just makes me support the man more.
Yeah.
Because I realize that he's fighting the good fight.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason why
As anyone who says
him.
No, screw you, okay? I want Trump back. Like,
yeah.
seriously.
I like how he
if not DeSantis.
Right. Well, yeah, and I like either one of those choices. I think that Trump is great. He's a great candidate. I would vote for him again. If Trump, for some reason, does not run,
if him and DeSantis won, I would probably pick DeSantis over Trump. To be honest with you.
I don't know if DeSantis would be able to get enough votes to get over Trump.
Yeah, that's the only thing, yeah.
So, I mean, I could go either way.
I'm fine with either one, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I just want gas prices to be $1 again. I mean, $2 again. Like,
right. Like, I want energy independence. And the thing is, what I like about DeSantis is that, like, I mean, you like the craziness of, like, the unpredictability of Trump.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you got DeSantis, who is the
also goes off, but
also is more controlled.
Yeah.
And is able to wrangle in a lot of those feelings, their thoughts and feelings, and really put it into action. And pass legislation that means a lot to the state.
He's not all emotion.
Yeah. And so, it's crazy. I mean, it seems like, we got a long way though until 2024. That's the thing. I mean, we're
make it that long.
Yeah, right. But like, we still got a ways to go. So, there's so much that can happen between now and 2024 when the election happens. But I would like to know who is running. That's for sure, because I want to know what bumper sticker to put on the back of my car.
Yes.
First of all,
yes,
I could go either way.
Yes, why not both?
Yeah,
just because, like,
anyone but a Democrat.
You know what we need to do, Joe? We need to start doing the ideas of I did that. When the gas prices go down, have a Trump sticker instead of a Biden sticker.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
With a thumbs up instead of a
pointing
fingers.
Classic thumbs up
instead of pointing fingers.
That's like his that's his signature thing is his thumbs up.
Yeah. Get you off the good much now.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. Like,
if we had a website with merch and stuff, that would be one of them I would like to do.
Anyway, though, back to China. I don't know. Let's see what's next, though, because I want to...
Did you want to read this section or me read it?
If you want. This next one.
Okay, the China military.
I think we already did that. The one after it.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah, we wrote all that.
Okay, I couldn't remember which one.
Yeah, this one.
So it's from
as if it can get any worse, right?
Yeah, it's from the Daily Wire. Missile launches around Taiwan threaten stability. So on Thursday, whenever this article was written, Taiwan said that Communist China fired a number of Dongfeng series ballistic.
Why did that make me think of poop when I saw that?
Like,
It's a bunch of poop series missiles.
Yeah, a bunch of poop series ballistic missiles in the waters by
They went ballistic.
Oh, crap. Everyone take cover. Literally. Everyone crap.
Everyone crap?
Everyone crap, hurry. Before they land.
Pull down your...
Don't
I
be
don't want to
ashamed.
finish that sentence because YouTube's going to take us down for that. Oh, God.
Everyone go now.
I made it stinky.
I made it stinky. Whoopsie, gotta go potty.
Oh, God.
From Jimmy Neutron. Go potty. Other reports said that the Taiwanese government asserted that Communist China had fired 2 missiles from the nearby Matsu Islands. Further reports stated that roughly 10 Chinese Navy ships crossed the Taiwan Strait median line. Meanwhile, President Biden's administration reportedly has been lobbying against a bill that would support Taiwan by naming it a major non-NATO ally. According to people familiar with the matter, the bill would give $4.5 billion in security aid and support its presence in international organizations. China's defense ministry said it would launch, quote, targeted military operations, end quote. France 24 report, yeah, oh, okay, that must be an outlet. France 24 reported, adding, quote, the Chinese military announced joint air and sea drills near Taiwan starting on Tuesday night, and test launch of conventional missiles in the sea east of Taiwan, with Chinese state news agency Xinhua describing live fire drills and other exercises around Taiwan from Thursday to Sunday, end quote. Last Thursday, according to the Chinese embassy in Washington, Chinese leader Xi Jinping threatened the U.S. in a conversation with President Joe Biden about America's ties to Taiwan. Quote, those who play with fire will perish by it. It is hoped that the U.S. will be clear-eyed about this, the Chinese statement said, Xi warned. What? That's a threat.
Those who play with fire will perish by it. I'm pretty sure I know what he's talking about right there.
Same. Is that a threat?
It's more than a
And Biden's like, what? What did he say? Where's my oatmeal?
He's saying we'll nuke your ass if you try anything with us.
Yeah.
Basically. And I like how the defense ministry said targeted military operations. Where have we heard that before? Oh yeah, Putin.
Yeah.
With
They're
Western Ukraine.
Literally the same person.
Literally the same language. Game.
Yeah.
We always go back now, guys, to what? The language game. All these leaders talk the same.
They're threatening the exact same thing that Putin was threatening about nuclear warfare if anyone gets involved. And that's exactly what the Chinese leader Xi is doing.
President COVID over there.
Yeah, President. President COVID. But yeah, it's dangerous, guys. I mean,
though I cannot get over that last quote. Those who play with fire will perish by it. That's someone who knows what he wants.
Yeah. And he knows what he...
And isn't afraid to stomp on heads to get it.
Well, and this all goes back to, like, the Afghanistan pullout. We've been saying this for months. And, like, ever since that Afghan pullout, Russia noticed it, China noticed it, and they're both taking action now. They're like, well, the time is right for us to take what we want.
You guys are weak.
While you guys are weak.
Posting ads about, equality in the army or military or whatever. We're going to...
Yeah, while you guys are dumbing down your military, we're going to ramp up ours, and we're going to go ahead and take over Taiwan, and we're going to go over and take over Ukraine. We're going to do whatever the heck we want, because we know you're not going to do jack squat about it.
At least for 4 years, you're not. Yeah.
And you well know if DeSantis or Trump gets in there that this crap is not going to fly. At least I hope not.
It might be too late by then, but yeah, I mean, you want to have a government then, but yeah, I understand your point.
But see, they're banking on, okay, they know they're on a deadline here.
Yeah.
You know, they know they got, 2 more years maybe to get something done, which is plenty of time.
And the Chinese president, Xi Jinping, has said, I don't know if you've heard this, Jared, but he said one of the top things that he wants to achieve before he's out of office is to invade Taiwan.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the main goals of his presidency, so that will happen at some point before he leaves office.
I wonder how many people are going to come to support Taiwan when China attacks.
I thought we were going to say the opposite thing, but that's something I've been thinking about.
You're thinking of who's going to support China in this?
Yeah.
Because you got what? Oh, yeah, you think of like LeBron James, for instance. He's been, basically...
He might change his views on it, though. Once he sees the footage of people getting killed and...
I don't know. He's been kind of a material girl, because he's been like, very, he's very monetary when it comes to these decisions on what he thinks about these countries, because China's given him a lot of money for his basketball contract. For him, I mean, the Chinese, the Chinese population, they love basketball there. Mm-hmm. They like the NBA. So China's willing to pay a lot of money to these players for them to be on their television screens.
And yet London doesn't care about the NFL at all.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, when they go over there to London to play, it's like, what? It's like...
Who gives a crap? Like,
sometimes it'll be really early in the morning when they play, so you and me will still be sleeping when...
Now Japan in baseball, they're obsessed.
Yeah, they got baseball. Some good players coming out of Japan,
Suzuki.
Though. Yeah.
Former player, but yeah.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about,
Mariners was one of them.
Yeah. Didn't he retire not too long ago?
Recently,
okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Very recently. But it's just like, oh my.
And then there's one on the Angels, right? That pitcher he's a batter too.
Yeah.
What's his name? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, but I don't remember exactly what
he's playing with Mike Trout.
But I do know that the World Baseball Classic a lot of times is held in Japan.
Yeah.
Anyway though, I'm just scared because it's like, if our government right now would not focus on, how much time do we got?
We're good.
It's 9. We got time, so I'm gonna go off a little bit. Dude, why? I'm gonna talk about this before I move on, if this is okay. Why are we focusing so much? And we've talked about this before. On diversifying the military.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, why? Like, you're making us weak.
Yeah. It weakens us.
Like, Jared, I think it was you that said it.
Mm-hmm.
There was no place for that in the military. Other places, sure, but what is the military's job? You said it yourself. Protect our country.
Yeah, the one job of the military is to defend our country, not to achieve some equality goal, some, progressive bullcrap, like, oh, we need to have certain amount of transgender people in the military, so we got to have diversity. It's like, no, I don't care about that. Okay, if you're transgender, whatever. If you want to join the military, that's fine. But, let's not make that a focus. Okay, like how the Biden administration wants to focus on, just recently sending people into outer space. They've been talking about it today as of recording this podcast.
Yep.
They were talking about having a very diverse set of people going to outer space. What does that matter? I mean, don't you want people that
know what they're doing?
Know what they're doing, because what if something goes wrong on that flight and you got to have the smartest, the strongest, the best people for the job. And if they happen
That's no more true than the military.
Yeah. And if you have one white person, one black person, one Asian person, whatever, it doesn't matter as long as they're the best at the job. That's all that matters. Not whether. Oh, okay. Are you? Let me see. Are you?
Check.
Are you
Check.
transgender?
Check.
Or are you gay, lesbian? They got to check all these boxes in order to do stuff, and that doesn't necessarily make it for a better military. That doesn't necessarily make it for a better crew to send into outer space. And if they go into outer space there, like for just going off on that for a second, if they go into outer space and they're not trained and something bad goes wrong, they could all die.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a serious situation. And same thing in war. I mean,
this is war we're talking about.
If China decides to attack Taiwan, or say, what if China takes a cheap shot at the U.S. and happens...
They just go straight for the throat.
Yeah.
With us. They skip Taiwan. Nope, we lied. We're going forward to you guys.
Yeah. Caught us off guard.
Yeah.
We're stuck with our hands in the cookie jar.
Yep.
And we're over here talking about, making the military more diverse or whatever, and it's like China's worried about having the strongest, toughest people.
We're gonna be flying the rainbow flag. That's all of our soldiers are getting messed up.
Yeah.
It's like what?
And nothing.
There was no And this is the part of the LGBTQ community that, again, I don't agree with. Keep it out of the armed forces, for God's sake. For the sake of our national security, please. I beg you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree with me on this, Joe? If you have something to say against it, please. But, I think you're in agreement. I would imagine so.
I fully agree with you. It's, with these subjects, it should be such a simple, obvious
solution.
Thing.
Yeah.
God, I can't wait for Biden to get out of office. I mean, I'm getting more irritated and irritated by the day. It's not like it's annoying that we have high gas prices. Yeah, that's
okay,
one
fine.
thing.
National
Whatever.
security is at risk here.
I'm worried about our own country, our future generations. I mean, we're talking about people that are going to be living on beyond us. We got to think about what our country's going to be in the next 10 to 20 years. When we're older, are we going to look and say, that was the good old days? Or are we going to look at, what are we going to say about 10 years from now? Are we going to say that we're worse off than we are now? Or is it going to be better?
I think so. It's going to be worse off, honestly. I'll say it once and I'll say it again, dude. I'm getting irritated, like you said, with the Biden administration, not just because
I'm furious
of high gas prices, but because of them, in 10 years, we're going to be on an abandoned road in Los Angeles, in a freaking destroyed metropolis, with a gas mask, trying to hunt down life to survive.
Yep.
Is what that's going to lead us. I swear.
I believe that.
It's going to lead to this country's destruction. Seriously. No other time in history right now, since the 60s, since learning about the 60s, rather, have I been this concerned about the security of our country. From a purely combat perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree with me, Joe? Do you think I'm fear-mongering? Is it a legit fear? Is it nothing to worry about?
It's definitely a concern, to answer your question. And to also go beyond that and say we're at a disadvantage at sea.
Yeah.
If we get into a sea Navy battle between China and the U.S., China's going to, blow over us.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have the boats to take them on. I mean, we're not back in 1945, at the end of the war and whatnot, our army was built up. We had more boats back then than we do now.
Yeah.
From what I understand.
They're more advanced, but we have less of them.
Yeah. I want the numbers.
Yeah.
I don't care if they're more advanced and we had less. I want more advanced ones and more of them.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, we do still have the upper advantage on China on a lot of things. For instance, we have the actual military intelligence. We have better equipment than they do, for instance. And also, and I don't know if this really adds up to anything, but China steals a lot of our ideas.
Yeah.
They just, because we send our jobs over to China.
Hence why I was scared when before it was declassified that they were working on this. Hence why I was scared when the F-35, a test of one of the prototypes, crashed in China.
Yeah.
I was like, oh god, they're going to recover it and reverse engineer it. That was when Lockheed was still keeping it under wraps.
Mm-hmm. So, so we still do have the upper advantage, but we gotta really ramp up our military. And you know what? I kind of like not to be like dictatorial like.
Supporting dictators, you mean?
Or being like them.
Yeah.
But I do kind of like the whole military parade thing. Like showing off our might a little bit. Like, all right.
I was going to tell you, I was going to say, tell me, even though it's China, tell me you don't think a little bit, okay, that's badass.
Yeah, like, I want to see our military out on the streets strutting their stuff.
Yes.
Like, I want to see, okay, that's what we're capable of. Like, just, invite a bunch of people.
You step on our soil, this is what you get.
And, dude, this could be a big moneymaker for the U.S. Heck, you can sell tickets to this crap.
Dude, that would be awesome. What do you think air shows do? Like, what?
Yeah. I mean, the U.S. government is missing out on this. They literally can fund a lot of different things just by putting military shows on.
Yes.
And saying, look, this is what we're capable of. Just showing off our might.
I can already hear possibilities. Like, demonstrations of helicopters dropping napalm, stuff like that. Like, it's freaking awesome.
I just want to see some, because people, and air it on TV.
Metallica blaring in the background, freaking troops marching with
some country
tanks.
patriotic music.
Yes. Whoa. Seriously. Yes.
This could be a every year thing, like once a year at least.
Yeah.
To just show off
like
and
China
like
does, yeah.
There could be food, there could be music, there could be you can recruit, not to mention have booths set up.
Yes.
And have actual military people to talk to and say,
yes.
Do you want to join the military?
Like what you saw, then join us. Like,
yeah, then you could do this every year if you want.
You could be involved in this. You could march in this.
Yeah,
basically.
I mean, you could literally march in this once a year, and then, every other year you get, great benefits. Yeah. Military has great benefits, by the way. So you get paid a lot of good stuff and benefits.
You get dental,
health insurance. So, yeah, I mean, heck, and they've been talking about military recruitment down. Like,
what do you think?
You got to really, rev it up a bit, put on a show.
Yeah.
I know the military was advertising for, in like those pro gaming things. Remember, they're getting involved in that too?
My mind goes back to during the screening of Top Gun when the Air Force had that commercial of the their new jet that they unveiled.
Yeah.
I think that was when the F-35 was officially like disclosed to the public. They made it into a commercial, basically.
Oh, okay.
And it was like, do more of that stuff. Like,
yeah, for real.
Granted, Top Gun, the new Top Gun, by the way, the Navy said it's been the most popular recruiting tool in years.
Really?
You want to know why? Because the people like to see that stuff.
Yeah, so make this a once-a-year thing, like a big recruitment month. You know, I mean, that's a great idea.
Yeah. Good idea, Joe. Like, shoot.
Thank you, dude.
Other countries do it, why not us? Like,
yeah.
The most powerful in the world. Think what we could show off.
You know, I say if Trump can start, you know, a whole nother division of the military, to go to outer Space Force, like, why can't we just start up a celebration?
Freaking space with drones and stuff. Like,
dude,
whoa.
Like, either Trump or DeSantis, they set up something like this. They can set a whole new precedent for what the United States, more patriotism. It brings people together.
Patriotism into the 21st century with technology, too.
Yeah, I mean, dude, what we need is togetherness.
Or you could do like a freaking, they could even do stuff like, for all the techies out there. They could do this event where it's like a show, but it's like a really crazy, like with laser lights depicting a cyber attack and how they defend against it, and like
they could
almost like a freaking Matrix kind of thing.
They could even attract a younger audience by having like gaming booths set up.
Yeah,
maybe like military.
The military
games.
should make games though. Yeah, but or even with VR.
Well, even right now. Yeah,
by them holding like a fake gun. And,
well, even they sponsor game tournaments.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Why do you think? Why do you think?
Yeah. Why not bring it full circle? Yeah. You know, get younger people
They need to bring America's
involved.
Army back. That was a game series that the U.S. Army made.
Okay.
Back in the day, they need to bring that back. I think. With today's graphics,
you know, let's stop playing. You know, GTA and Mario, and let's start getting involved in some patriotic games here.
Yeah, not just Call of Duty, but the gun physics aren't even realistic.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I think that's a good solution for getting military and recruitment up, building up our military, and also it really knocks out two birds with one stone because it shows China like, hey, whoa.
I just like the military parade thing. I love that idea.
And all those little things, that's for the people that show up.
Like the gaming and the...
Yeah, those are something to keep people entertained while they're there. Not only the show...
until the show starts.
Either that or during the show, whatever you want to do.
If they don't want to see explosions and...
Yeah, I mean, different options for different tastes, right?
Yeah.
But it brings people together.
They can have some of you test U.S. weapons.
Yeah.
Like fire the guns.
A simulation
for,
kind of thing?
Actually, like at ranges. Like they have ranges set up where you can like...
Yeah, maybe.
Hey, you guys want to know what it's like to shoot a 50 cal? Here, get on this Humvee. We'll teach you. Like, there's so many options that they could do.
I wish. See, that's the one thing about the about these dictators like North Korea.
They know how to put on a show, at least.
They know how to put on a show, and I'm not opposed to bringing back some of that patriotism.
Yeah.
Why do we got to wait till some huge disaster happens like 9/11 to come together? Like we need to be able to come together all the time. And
not just in the way that the left likes.
Yeah. Meaning agree with their ideals.
Yes.
Sure, we can disagree on how to get things done, but let's all agree on, that we should have a strong military.
Yeah.
Not worrying about, let's come to a diversity conclusion. That's the solution. This isn't a movie production. This is an actual defense force that we need in order to have a free country that you're living in. Is this what our grandfathers and great grandfathers fought for?
It makes me think of the meme where it's like 18-year-olds back in 1945 and 18-year-olds now, that kind of thing.
And what we're worried about is diversity in the military, and then back then they were worried about like
getting their head blown off.
Yeah, and
on D-Day,
whooping Germany's ass.
Yeah, right.
Oh, the good old days, right?
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! What a segue into that!
Anyways.
How it could escalate! Oh.
That summed everything up right there.
Why? To go from darkness to the shadows! Anyway.
Go ahead, Aiden.
Okay, so how this could escalate.
From Fox News.
Fox News! I tried to say no, that did not go well.
Aiden needs practice. He needs to warm up.
Even though I have 3 years in choir, then did not do jack squat.
Well, he's also a little rusty. Right?
Yes. So Gatestone Institute senior fellow and author Gordon Chang issued a dire warning about the threat of China making an aggressive move against Taiwan on Fox and Friends First Monday, telling hosts Carly Schmucks,
Shimkus?
and Griff Jenkins.
Old man Jenkins.
It's old Griff Jenkins.
Howdy,
It's Cannonball Jenkins. In the fire of China. It's Cannonball Jenkins.
Living like Larry.
I told you no good will come from city folk on their flying machines.
How many times do we have to tell you?
Oh, man.
I love the young people. Get them.
That President Joe Biden is not preparing Americans for what is coming. Shane also warned that U.S.-China relations have reached one of the most dangerous moments in history after U.S. lawmakers made an announcement to Taiwan relations. Gordon Shane says,
spicy.
Henry Kissinger in the Wall Street Journal said,
Smoochie.
Said, we are on the edge of war with Russia and China. And I actually think that he is right. 1 year ago today, China issued propaganda saying that when they invaded Taiwan, I like how it's... Wait, this says it, okay. When they invaded Taiwan, not if they invaded Taiwan, that the island would fall within hours. And the U.S. would not come to help. The fall of Afghanistan... This is what we were talking about! The fall of Afghanistan led to the failure of deterrence in Ukraine, which were a much more powerful combination in the United States, the European Union, and Great Britain failed to deter Vladimir Putin. The Chinese believe that disarray in the Western coalition really means it is ineffective, and I think the Chinese believe that they can do what they want. This is a point where we should expect that the Chinese would do something. It may not be a full-on invasion, but it could very well be dangerous maneuvering in the air or on the sea that causes the downward spiral. The President of the United States is not preparing the American people for what is coming, but the Chinese tell us they want, which is war in Asia. That got hit it right on the money right there.
Yep. That's literally what we just said. But a more efficient way of saying it.
Yeah. And also about Afghanistan.
I fully agree with this Gordon Chang guy. I think Taiwan will fall faster than Ukraine. Because Ukraine, I mean, everyone thought Ukraine was going to fall within days. And it turns out Ukraine is what? Now over 6 months into the conflict, they're still out there fighting, which, give them credit where credit's due. They're still out there fighting. Zelensky's still in the country. He could have been like the leader of Afghanistan at the time. He could have been like him and fled once he realized that, the U.S. bailed. He's like, I'm taking my money and I'm running. Yeah. And I'm not going to risk getting killed.
He didn't, though.
It just shows what kind of leader Zelensky is. And I don't know the Taiwan leader. Do you?
No.
That's weird they don't mention him, because you think that if China actually started attacking Taiwan, that they would, start pointing a light on the leader of Taiwan and saying, what are you going to do? Mm-hmm. Are you going to stay in Taiwan, or are you going to flee to, the United States or some other country for refuge, and be a wussy? It's like, what kind of leader are you?
Right.
I mean, what do you, honestly, like, say if it was the same situation, like, say Russia was attacking us instead of Ukraine, and they were taking over parts of the country, and they were closing in on Washington D.C., and Biden would probably be in Delaware, so he'd be on his vacation while the whole U.S. is getting attacked. He wouldn't even be in the White House, but, Biden would probably flee the country. If we were in that same boat as Ukraine. Yeah. I don't think it would ever get to that point, but, if we were, he'd probably run for the hills. Yeah.
Well, unlike, I'm kind of going to make a distinction right now, because I don't know the leader of Taiwan, but I have done a little bit of research on Taiwan's military, and I will say this. The difference between Taiwan's military and Ukraine's military is astronomical. Other than Russia, Jared, I have heard it said that Ukraine has one of the best militaries in Europe.
Okay.
Hence probably why they were able to defend up Mar for so long. Taiwan, on the other hand, I don't think the military is developed. I could be wrong on that. But I don't think the military has developed. And to top that off, the first thing that China would probably do is hit the one-ways. Their one-ways are fully out there in the open. China could just completely decimate those, and then once the Taiwanese people have no way to send their jets to defend themselves, it's game over.
They could do, couldn't they surround the island like a barrack, a blockade, I mean?
Yeah. So what China has been doing for years, what are called ADIS flyovers, right? Mm-hmm. Well, they don't attack Taiwan at all, but they have many, 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 many times sent planes over Taiwan, basically giving them the middle finger and saying, we're coming, just watch out. You better be scared.
Yeah.
Basically. I'm just waiting for the day that one of those planes turns and fires a missile on them. Mm-hmm. So what do you think about this whole thing? How do you think this is going to go?
Well, I guess to start wrapping it up, what do
you foresee here?
Well, I'd like to think that we would be able to stay out of direct conflict with China, but I just don't see how that's possible. Just with all the economic ties to both Taiwan and China. Because an attack on Taiwan is an attack on our economy. A huge detriment to our economy. A huge problem. Yeah. Because, like you just said earlier, you're going to see no automotive. Well, let me rephrase that. The automotive industry is going to suffer. Computer production will suffer. Cell phones will suffer. Anything electronic is going to be hard to come by. And a lot of this is stuff we need to live, basically, now. Like, we rely on a lot of this technology in order to go about our daily lives. Yeah. And you're going to have people that normally wouldn't care about war, but they will start caring about this war specifically, because it will affect everyone's lives. Some people are able to brush off the Ukraine thing and like, I don't really care about Ukraine. Which I care about Ukraine, but
You won't be able to brush this one off.
You won't be able to brush this one off because the normal housewife living at home, raising 4 kids, and, her car breaks down or whatever, and it's not repairable. It's busted. Like, it's going to be a huge repair bill. How are they going to get a new car? There's going to be no cars available. They're going to have to possibly patch together what car they got and spend thousands of dollars to get it repaired. There's no way of getting a brand new car once this,
conflict kicks off.
Yeah. Like, this is going to affect everybody, left, right, and center.
Yeah.
It doesn't
I don't care what political party you are.
Yeah. So, with these people, and there's some conservative commentators that I disagree with when they say about how Ukraine is not a concern to us at all. Why do we have to worry about it? Well, I worry about Ukraine. I'm concerned about it. But you're going to be singing a different tune when Taiwan is under attack by China. I'm just saying, right now, you'll be worried about this foreign conflict when it escalates. That's pretty much how I'm mic drop.
Think about all of the ways that semiconductors are used. First and foremost, right now, what we're doing right now, podcasting.
Yep.
That requires technology.
We're lucky we have the equipment right now.
Yeah.
But say if we were trying to
get it in that time,
God forbid this thing breaks.
Yeah.
Or something goes wrong, and we have to buy a new microphone, a new board, and, what are we going to do? I mean, we won't be able to purchase it, and we can't do our podcast. That on a lesser note, but, like, something that is, like, necessary for us to get to work, like our cars, that's even more important.
Yeah. Dude, semiconductors are literally in everything.
Yeah.
Literally. And I kind of want to talk about this too, because I've been traveling with this thought on my head for a little bit. I see now, Joe, tell me which one you think is more likely, okay?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are scared about with the whole semiconductor thing, with it just being shut down. With you not being able to get what you need, all the technology is going to go away. I have another option that I think could also happen. What if, when they invade, they don't stop production, they say to Taiwan, you make stuff for us now.
And you're not allowed to give it away to anyone else?
You make military tech for us now. You make our planes for us. You make our computers for us. You make our tech better for us. You're still allowed to make semiconductors, it's not for anyone else.
Yeah.
You don't stop production, you just change it.
Well, and they're also talking about, like, if China attacks Taiwan, that Taiwan would self-destruct their semiconductors so that China cannot get a hand on it.
I don't like that.
I wish they can send it out somewhere else.
Yes.
Get rid of it.
To us.
At least send it to someone that can handle it. Maybe they sign some sort of contract with the U.S. to be like, okay, we're going to send this over to you guys.
As hands down, you protect it with your life.
You keep it till we,
win or lose.
Yeah, or, you send it out. We're trusting you to hand it out to the countries and states that need it.
Yeah.
Something like that, so that way we're not destroying precious resources. I mean, this type of technology is almost as important as food and water is to some people.
Yeah.
I mean, especially to people in the Western world.
Yeah.
I mean, people in Africa that, are, living out and living out in tribes, like, the people there, they laugh at us, because they don't have to rely on any of that stuff. But to us, that's like, that's almost like part of the basic necessities for life in the Western world.
That's what I think is this poll is going to be apocalyptic.
Yeah.
It's like, once the semiconductor goes, things are going to go to shit.
Mm-hmm.
Very quickly.
Yep.
I don't know. And I also think that the whole national debt thing is going to play into this too. I guarantee it.
Yep.
China has been very easily throttling us for years now. Trump tried to get us out of it. We didn't listen.
See, Trump ran out of time in terms of, being able to... He couldn't get everything done. It was a surprise that he was able to get anything done with how he was under fire all the time from the Dems.
Yeah.
He had to fight on multiple fronts, Yeah. Because he had people constantly on his ass. And, you could never break away from it and, to take it into a football terms, make a big play.
Yeah.
He could make little gains here and there, but they had him surrounded all the time. They could never close in completely on him, but they had him, jarred up so he couldn't make the play that he wanted to.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, the Browns, no. No. But yeah, guys, I think that's pretty much it for this podcast.
Yeah.
We plan on continuing coverage of this specific topic.
If anything happens, yeah. If it
not necessarily as another podcast, but quite possibly as on our WOTG radio station. We'll do another radio show. We could cover some more information on this topic.
Yes.
I think that's a good way of doing it instead of saying, oh, here's
another podcast.
Taiwan and China tension part 2.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of tired of doing those different two-parters, three-parters.
Yeah.
I just kind of
if it goes into war, we'll let you know on the radio, guys.
Yeah. Because that way we can cover a little bit more and, different range of topics,
That's a good idea.
Because there's a lot going on and, guys, we can't cover everything, because it's just the news is...
Me and Joe talked about this a couple of weeks ago.
Aiden did a great job of collecting the notes here.
Yeah, thank you. But we were talking about basically the concept that, listen, the news flies at us too fast. We cannot catch it all.
And we can never, quote-unquote, catch a break.
Yeah.
To talk about something light, we have to literally say, okay, we know there's issues going on in the United States and in the world, but we need to set that aside for a little bit, breathe, and talk about something we want to talk about. Something like a lighter subject. If we talked about alien abductions or whatever, which is always interesting.
The human history thing that we're still working on.
Yeah, we're still planning on doing. That might be next.
Yeah. We don't have a time frame on that, guys, because like we said, that's going to be a really thorough, researched topic, so we're going to have to take time with that. But that is coming. We just don't know when yet. But
yeah.
Anyway, though, that, gaming stuff,
Yeah, we got multiple things to do. We never run out of stuff to do, stuff to talk about.
But it's just overstimulating, though, sometimes. At least for me. I don't know for you, but for me, at least.
I mean, definitely. I mean, sometimes you need a break because, especially during 2020, that was probably, for my mental health, that year, I was just, that year was bad.
I was a mess.
It was bad for everyone. The whole world was just, it was just a bad year.
Yeah.
I wish that year never existed, to be honest with you. I wish it skipped from 2019 to 2021.
Yeah.
Because honestly, everyone can forget about that year.
That was the little apocalypse year is what I call it. That was the year of the apocalypse.
We're in a different,
I swear to God.
We're in a different world now.
Yes! Did the aliens, freak...
Aiden's losing his voice here.
Excuse me. Did the aliens freaking flip a switch and be like, oh, this version of the Matrix is done? This experiment's over.
That was a horrible transition, though.
Let's just let them do what they want now and see what falls apart.
Jesus. Yeah, maybe. I don't know, guys. That's a whole conspiracy theory there.
Yeah.
Like, it's just that.
But then again, to close this out really quick, to bring it back to the Bible, we knew this was going to happen. This has been talked about. The Bible predicts all this, and this shouldn't be a surprise. It's just very heartbreaking to watch it happen.
Yeah.
It's hard knowing that this is how it's been prophesied to happen and how God says it needs to happen like this.
Mm-hmm.
It's just hard to watch because it's like people, bringing it back to this week before we end tonight, people are going to suffer with this.
Yep.
There was going to be a lot of suffering and mental health issues because of this war and a lot of broken people in this. It's just like it's hard praying and just asking, like, God, what is your purpose for this one? Sometimes I just wish Jesus could just come back and be like, okay, guys, like, it's time. But it's not time yet.
Yep.
We just gotta have hope, guys. That's where I'm gonna leave this at. We just gotta have hope.
You know,
for a better eternity.
I try to be an optimist.
Yeah.
I know we talk a lot about negative stuff on this program.
But the news does too.
But the news does too, but we also got to look at it on a bright note.
Yeah.
You know, and kind of try to, you know, because I think as Christians too.
Yes.
Like, we can't always be doom and gloom.
Yeah. Don't be fire and brimstone.
Yeah, I mean,
as we like to call it.
And, you know, have trust in God. That's number one.
Yes, absolutely.
Number two, also have trust in on our election system still, even though we have things that we are concerned about.
We do have bright days.
You know, we do have days that, you know, the right does win, which
not
is
only
so
the white,
sweet.
Not only does the right win, but Biden makes a good decision.
Yes.
Such as the thing you just said.
The semiconductors.
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe they're bringing some to the Ohio.
Yeah.
There was some production here. They're also got those electric trucks being produced in Ohio.
That's going to be amazing.
Yeah. That old, what is it? The Lordstown plant.
Yeah.
I drove by that, by the way. It's cool. Nice. It's huge.
Is.
That facility is ginormous.
I bet. So, guys, I'm going to end this positively. I'm just going to be like, listen. First of all, what Jared said. Trust in God. And on top of that, I'll add this to end this off. Know that if there is no good outcome for this world, there is something beyond this world. And that is eternity. Now, it's up to you guys whether that's in either heaven or hell. That's up to you, where you want to spend. We all have eternal bodies. We're all going to live forever. So don't worry about dying and, you know, falling into the grave. That's not going to happen. You're going to spend eternity somewhere. Heaven or hell, you choose.
It's not just, oh, you know, your mortal life here on earth is all there is.
Right.
That's not what, you know, people think that's why people are so scared of death.
Yeah.
In general. And I've heard this many times. You know, people are afraid of dying. They're I mean, more than they've ever been.
Yes.
And part of that's because they don't have the holy gospel.
Yeah. And the security of something after.
Yeah. And that's why a lot of these atheists, they're, you know, they don't believe in any God. So they think their life here on, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but they think life on Earth here is all there is.
Yeah. Why do you think they try to leave such a legacy behind?
Yeah.
They write so many papers and so much research and.
Because they think that's all there is.
Yeah.
Little do they know they'll find out right after they pass away.
Yeah. Literally.
You know?
It's like, why?
You wait until it's too late.
Yeah.
To do anything.
So yeah. Try to always keep that in perspective, eternity in perspective. I'm now trying to always keep that in perspective.
Yeah.
Because that is really what matters in the end.
And all that being said,
yes,
try to look on a more positive note.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. That way you're not doom and gloom all the time.
Yes. If things aren't okay in this life, they will be okay in eternity.
And also
God's
just
got us.
And not just on a spiritual note, but also just on a on a normal
earthly plane
kind of talk here. Bring it back down to earth.
Yeah.
It'll always get better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, something I've said to people that suffer through suicidal thoughts.
Yeah.
That was something that I said in a previous podcast.
One of our most first ones.
Yeah.
Episode number 4.
It's been quite a while.
Yeah.
Now time flies,
what?
man.
Jeez.
But,
it does.
It does get better.
It really does.
You look in the short term right now and you're saying, wow, you got the China-Taiwan conflict, you got rising gas prices, you got inflation.
And guys, I was just talking about the nuclear war outcome because I was basically high on political drugs, basically. Is what I can put.
When we get into the heat of it, we want to be honest with you guys and drive our point across to people that are, skeptical about the situation. If there's,
do I really think the war might end a nuclear fight? I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna. Personally, I'm not gonna worry about it. I was just feeding off of what people have been saying.
Yeah. No, we're just trying to
just a way to
get our point across.
Yeah.
But let's stop looking in the short term and look in the long term, and say, okay, there's good stuff coming. We just gotta, individually too, not just as a whole nation, but for each individual person
and our communities.
There's good stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
On the more local level.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah, absolutely.
And a lot of it starts with you guys too.
In the family unit.
In the voting booth.
Yeah.
You got to vote for things that you believe in and things that you got to do your research too.
Yeah.
Yeah, all wrap it up in that nice burrito.
Yes. And I think with that,
we're out.
Yes.
And so for Off the Grid Podcast, I'm Jared.
I'm Aiden.
And we'll see you guys next time.
See ya.